I believe in looking at both sides, and I believe in having the courage to stand up and say what I believe.
I set out to find out whether or not Scientology was a religion or a money-making scheme. What I found out was baffling. I remember years ago, I heard Tom Cruise speaking about psychiatrists overprescribing prescription medications. I totally agreed with this. People don't need drugs to feel good about themselves or to fix their problems. My first impressions were Scientology seems reasonable.
I've been a Scientologist for 30 years. I got in 1969 when I was 19 years old. I was a very young person at the time looking for answers and truths. Kind of answers for how to help people.
Like a lot of people, Scientology first grabbed my attention when South Park did their spoof on it. Tom Cruise and Scientology were now the laughingstock of the entertainment industry. But were these Scientologists becoming the victims of religious persecution?
This is the Church of Scientology, right? Nigga, I got Satan! I got radiation in my body! Give me Tom Cruise! I need help!
Good luck with those engrams. Stay away from the Thetans.
No, you listen to me for a second.
You have no right whatsoever to say what and what isn't a religion. The Constitution of the United States of America guarantees one's right to practice and believe freely in this country.
Time to look at Scientology and discover what's below the surface of the jokes.
The big party line is everyone's having a great time. But that's what I later found out happens. It's like no one really tells you the truth. When I got in Scientology, that's what I was looking for, truth. And both sides, and honesty, and everything, answers, right? And here I am at the top of the bridge, and I'm a chronic, compulsive liar. How are you doing? Fine. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's the Truman Show all day, all night, going on. How's OT7? Great. It's a great level. You better get on it. I never wanted to say anything because I didn't have any wins on it. I didn't like it.
My first impression was that, wow, just to learn what Scientology is about, you have to pay them money.
Being Scientologist, you look at someone and you know absolutely that you can help them. That's what drives me, is that I know that we have an opportunity to really help.
If these people really want to help people with their truth, why so much money? Why only help the people that are well off?
Talk about increasing the magnitude of understanding.
You read the books and you have these lectures that you listen to.
Especially when providing such knowledge that cannot even be explained in words.
And your reality gets completely blown out.
It's just...
I was so blown out of my head, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is it.
This is it. This is exactly it.
The other factor that instantly kills credibility for me is the fact that L. Ron Hubbard was a science fiction writer. He wrote a book about mental health called Dianetics, and that made sense to a lot of people. But then came book after book after book. At first glance, one can't even make sense of Scientology because of the exclusive language and terms used within.
So for me, it really is KSW.
LRH speaks of operating Thetan in terms of an educated Thetan.
How to run from an SP. It's PTSSP, how to shatter suppression.
An erasure down in the basic area, or when returning from basic, 2 or 3 runs will erase an engram of whatever kind unless it is the basic on a new chain of similar incidents.
The full knowledge of Dianetics and Scientology is contained in 3,000 tape-recorded lectures, 8,000 pages of text, and 29,000 pages of issues. In full, those materials total more than 35 million words. Those listening to Congresses while auditing routinely enjoyed a 350-point gain in OCA scores, grade 1 followed by OT2, followed by New Era Dianetics.
If these people really want to help people, what is the point of inventing words and making things so complicated?
You do the objectives, and then you do you go first through clear, and then you do the clear certainty rundown, and then you do the OT levels 1 through 8.
The goal of Scientology is to gain more and more knowledge to hopefully get it someday.
I really, after reading the books, realized that I actually had no idea.
Before I thought, well, I know, because I've been in Scientology for a long time. Oh yeah, I know. No, I really had no clue.
I didn't even know that there was something there that I didn't know.
Literally for 7 years, I kept trying to work out what was wrong, that I wasn't getting it, because everybody else was getting it.
I got it.
You can tell a certain amount of stuff to the church, but you can't really tell them what's really going on.
It's a blast. It really is fun.
You can't say, you know, this isn't working, man. I'm not having a good time. Because you know what will happen? Write out the check. You got a little more set checking to do, baby. That's the way it goes. Because all of us that were on OT7 for as long as we were on it paid and we paid and we paid. We did all those 6-month checks. And then he comes out in front of thousands of people and says, oh, the Solonats auditors are only using 3 out of the 79 tools. And step right over here to the registrar for $25,000. You can pay and get right back on.
Thousands and thousands of dollars later, people may refuse to admit they do not understand the message simply because of all the time and money they have invested. But what is this internet group called Anonymous, and why are they declaring war on the Church of Scientology?
Hello, leaders of Scientology. We are Anonymous. Over the years, we have been watching you, your campaigns of misinformation, your suppression of dissent, your litigious nature. Anonymous has therefore decided that your organization should be destroyed. Knowledge is free. We are Anonymous.
Apparently, the Church of Scientology attempts to sue and quiet all voices of criticism. If you ask questions or attempt to document the so-called religion, hostility will no doubt ensue.
What are you afraid of?
I'm not afraid.
I think you are, Mark. You wouldn't be afraid if you weren't doing what you're doing, Mark. You're doing something. It's proof that you're afraid. You're afraid of the success of Scientology because people are going to find out your crimes. What are they, Mark? Spit them out.
It is a hard thing to leave a church like that because you've been in it. You're in the Truman Show. You don't even see the wall. Then you finally see the wall. Now what? Nobody else sees it.
The group stands for nothing but good, and you're nothing but bad. And we want to know why, so we can help you.
Please tell me why.
So we can help you.
Well, I'm telling you, total freedom. We are for total freedom here, and that scares you. You don't want people becoming more aware and more free. Why is that, Mark? What do you got to hide?
We can help you.
Why do you attack Scientology?
Because of the criminal activities of your organization?
Good point. Criminal activities. What are your criminal activities, Mark? Because that's why you're here.
The only people that attack the church are people that are afraid of finding something.
When you're in the Church of Scientology, there's no one you can call. You can't call them up and go, you know, I'm really thinking about leaving the church. It doesn't work that way. You have nothing. You have no terminal. Now, they're going to say in the church, oh, you have terminals, you can come talk to us, right, and get locked up in a room and beat up or something.
If you're attacking it, then you're afraid people are going to get better. That's all there is to it. It's simple.
Lisa McPherson didn't get better. She died. Lost 40 pounds in 17 days because you folks trapped her in a room.
This is a bunch of crap! The whole thing! I've been in the church for 30 years, right? This isn't what I think it is. This isn't the Church of Scientology. This is a bunch of crap that I'm living right now.
It's like, man, you're either in or you're out.
Okay, so I decide, you know what, that's it. I'm out of this place. I'm done. It's like you can't really just pick up a phone and say, you know, I want to leave the church. Can you help me? It doesn't work that way.
So what's my final conclusion? Well, no one should be able to interfere with an individual's faith. People's lives may in fact be improving by holding such beliefs. But blind allegiance to anything is very dangerous. For the higher-ups, it's the worldwide scam of a lifetime. Take people who have trouble in their life and confuse them with answers so complex that people are dumbfounded and determined to figure out every detail. Convince people that your bureaucracy is a religion and you have the biggest politically correct shield that no amount of money could ever buy. The Church of Scientology's hostile behavior toward dissenting voices brings prudence to the claim that the church was indeed founded on a scam. I encourage you to do your own research and don't let intimidation interfere with your freedom of speech to voice your own opinions.
I'm not doing this. It's a lie. It's a fraud. I've had it.
Do you know who Zemu was?
Zemu, no.
Zemu.
It doesn't ring a bell.
Never heard of the Emperor Zemu?
No. No? Who is he?
I was nearly dead. I could hardly feel anything in my body. I had very little energy in my body. Just almost solidly dead. That's how I felt.